And so, as you heard, I put $25 in a bank account. I asked friends to donate. How many people here have a birthday in the next 365 days? Right? So my birthday's Halloween, which makes for a very fun party. And so I asked friends to come out and give $20 at a Halloween party for my birthday to help me build one school for an organization called Pencils of Promise. And everybody said to me, this is impossible. You're going to try and build a school on the other side of the world. At the time, first school was in Laos. They said, there's no way. This is not going to work. Impossible. That's just the word that I kept on hearing over and over and over again. And as many of you know, last night we lost one of the greatest American, not only sports, but social icons that we'll ever see. And so I've spent my entire morning just watching footage of Muhammad Ali. I can't stop. But I want to share this one quote that he stated, which has always inspired me tremendously. He said, "Impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing." And, yeah. And for each and every single one of you, you are going to come across something that others will deem impossible. But remember, that is not a declaration, that is a dare. Right? It's not a declaration, it's a dare. And so you'll have these big aspirational dreams. You'll have these ideas, and it is up to you based on the expectations that you set, that willingness to get outside of your comfort zone, the relationships that you decide to form around you, as well as one last and final idea, which is that I would encourage you to be loyal to love. Okay? Be loyal to love. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people tell young individuals that you should pursue your passion. And I am not somebody who tells others to do that. I don't believe in pursuing your passion because I think passions are fleeting. Passions occur and they move just like diets and workout fads and all these other stuff, and they go away. Like kale is not going to be popular in 5 years. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. But I would encourage you to pursue your sense of purpose, because purpose is enduring, right? And purpose is much like love. It exists somewhere deep, deep, deep inside of you. And in some cases, that might be the love of a family member or a parent who has done so much for you. It might be a younger sibling who you want to look up to you and you want to set a great example for them to aspire towards. Eventually, many of you, a lot of people nowadays might meet their spouse in college, right? And so you might meet your spouse in the next year, which is pretty crazy to think about. I was recently watching a random game show, and there was this guy who was on, and they always interview the person before they answer the question. And this guy was there, and the game show host said, "So you've been married 49 years. That's incredible." And the guy said, "Thanks so much." And he said, "Well, what's the one key?" And the guy said, "Well, if I say there's just one thing, it's to make sure that you take trips. Go on trips together. My wife and I, for our 25th anniversary, we went out to China, and next year I'm going back to pick her up." So, it was a really, really good joke for a game show. There are going to be relationships that may endure 49, 50 years. But there are also going to be ideas that enter your mind of, I can go accomplish this. As I told you, I had this idea for Pencils of Promise. That was 7 years ago. Everybody said it was going to be impossible. $25 went in a bank account. Now, about 7.5 years later, there's 350 schools around the world and 35,000 children across Asia, Africa, and Latin America learning in our schools. Thank you. So these ideas will enter your mind, these relationships will enter your life, and it's up to you. You have the resounding capacity to choose to go left or to choose to go right. And I would encourage you that when that voice in your head is overtaken by the voice in your heart, and you have this unabatable sense of love and purpose driven towards an idea or an individual, to go into it head first. And in order to do so, it will be very scary and it will be very uncomfortable. But I would encourage you, if you take anything from today's talk, to adopt my favorite mantra, my favorite phrase, which comes from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She's the first female president on the African continent, an incredible, incredible woman. She said, "If your dreams do not scare you, then they're not big enough." So thank you so much. And congratulations to the graduating class.